Charlotte Kristen Fraser there, but we focus on the action out here on the ice now. And lying in 13th place going into this free dance, the Hungarians. They're going in the wrong direction. They were 10th last year, 11th the year before. Something to prove here for Nóra Hoffmann and Attila Elek. The music for this free dance is a flamenco medley.
Straight away getting a set of twizzles out of the way. The OD was a Latin combination, so he's been practicing a lot of Latin movements this year. Be able to put some of that into this free dance. Circular step sequence. Look at the bend and the push down on the ankle to change edges. Forward inside, forward outside. It's a little open, easier to skate if you're not in the tight dance hold. Makes the elements flow more easily and you can not be so precise. See, open again. Arm in arm, not as difficult as being in dance hold. They won't get the same level of marks if they keep on like that. Good use of edges.
Well, they're certainly pleased with that. They gave it their all, and I think towards the end just started to run out of steam a little bit. Seems to me, Nikki, that there's so much focus on twizzles and turns and turning themselves inside out and lifts that in some way, the skating quality suffered.
Well, for some, it just becomes so much. Margarita Kowiasko and Povlas Vanegas, they were saying, you know, they skated before with the old system. Now there's so much to do that there's less time for choreography. You know, having said that, we just saw Natalie and Fabian make it their own within this new system and do something that was, you know, really spectacular within that. So it is possible, but it is more demanding. And to make the elements look like they're seamless within the program, that is the challenge.
And I suppose physically it's far more demanding.
On the man now, physically, compared to what it was, absolutely. The ladies too, but the man in particular, because the demands of the lifts, you know.
Well, while we look at the slow motions, we're going to join Natalie and Fabian with Gwendol.
Des petits soucis sur les parties twist ce soir.
Ouais, ben, je manquais un petit peu de souplesse.
Gwendol says you seem to have some problems out there.
Et ben, ça pardonne pas, quoi. Dès qu'on est raide, on tombe vachement moins bien. Donc.
And Fabian says he was a little tired, and when you're tired, you tend to make small mistakes.
Oui, c'est un problème que j'ai, c'est que je chante souvent pour ça m'aide à me mettre dedans. C'est vrai que aujourd'hui, particulièrement ce soir, on était vraiment bien dans le thème. Je pense qu'on a réussi à exprimer pas mal de sentiments, on a transmis beaucoup d'émotions. J'espère que le public l'a ressenti. En tout cas, moi, je me suis très
Well, she's saying there's a lot of emotion in the program, and they gave it their best shot. Thank you, says Gwendol.
Yeah, their best shot was excellent.
It really was, by far and away the most enjoyable, I think, so far. And it's Peshala and Borzat that lead at the moment. I don't think the performance that we've just seen from the Hungarians is going to leapfrog above that, do you?
No, not at all. And one of the things I mentioned was looking at the dance holds. If you're interested in it in ice dancing, if you're arm in arm and you're skating and you leave go of each other to turn, it's much easier than trying to stay in dance hold and then do the turns and edges while staying in a tight hold. That is much more demanding to do, particularly at speed. And the judges are very aware of that. They're trained in that. They know what to look for, as do the technical specialists as well. So much goes on behind the scenes. Every practice is watched. You know, all your elements are down. We have them on sheets of paper, and each one has a scale of value given to it. And then the program component scores, of course, separated out: skating skills, transitions, performance, etc.
Well, they go into second place in behind the French, and that is their allotted slot.